So yeah, I got my confirmation yesterday that the new job is also shenanigans. Um, Last week was given a schedule for work and came in to follow it this week. And boss acted surprised that I'd showed up. Why are you here? I was like, because you sent a schedule out and I was on it for this day. Oh well, when did I send you that? I was like, last week. Oh well, I was gonna have you come in tomorrow, but I'll just have you do a few hours since you're here today. So right there, clipping my hours. Um, One girl that's been there 3 years, been there through the last two owners as well, had told me last week to ask her about any days that I might want to work this week. So when she came in and I said something about that, she acted surprised, like she'd never said it. And I said, I got to be honest, I'm really done with this finding out the day before what days I work business. And I got this, oh, well, we thought that was what you wanted. And it was like, no, when I got the job and was told there would be minimal hours to start, and I said, that's fine, I'll take what I can get. Not, I would only like to be notified the day before of what I'm working. And you can't make any kind of plans that way. And for the minimal pay that the job has, it really doesn't, it doesn't balance out. So then I said something about the fact that I've been kind of disturbed by, if I'd asked, who the owner of the company was or what the structure of the business was or anything, because I had been told at the outset from the interview that there was a possibility I might become a manager, that start thinking like a manager is what I did. Got met with the typical fake surprise, what do you mean? Which, let me tell you, going back years and years, family members, the ex, all kinds of people that the exact same facial expression, the exact same tone of voice, the exact same incredulous response to a perfectly reasonable question, which is a sign of the beginning of gaslighting. And concerns about this particular, the manager, who may or may not be the owner, can't get a straight answer from anyone. Either this lady bought the place or this lady's brother owns the place, and I asked the lady about it. She, on 3 different occasions, had told me that it was her uncle, her brother, or her cousin. Somebody else said they heard it was her father. One of the other workers there, who barely works, had said that there's, the other day the boss came in with apparently a hand injury and needed me to do a bunch of lifting. And I was informed later that day that there's even one time where she claimed that she had briefly died. So obviously there's a pathological lying thing going on. Part of my issue was noticing when customers come in with a legit concern about one of the pumps not working right, especially on diesel, that they complain that they're given a different answer every single time as to what's wrong with the pump, and it's never been fixed. And I mentioned this to this long-term coworker who basically is the one in charge, even though she isn't, technically a manager or anything, but is the one who knows how to do everything, is the go-to for everything, and is effectively the one who calls the shots. I think this owner/manager boss lady talks to her and what should I do? So this is the person who's pulling strings. She kept cutting me off amid my questions with these incredulous responses to rational questions. Well, why does it matter? What's so important about it? You don't need to know about who owns the... Well, yeah, actually, you should be able to find out pretty easily who you work for. Questions that I haven't even got a chance to approach yet, as far as the way that the checks are written with no stubs on what looks like a personal check from an account named after the LLC that owns several gas stations. If I was to ask, am I a contractor or an employee, I probably would have been told, none of your business. What does it matter? Why do you need to know? I've worked other places too. And I said, yeah, and if you've worked other places, and you would know that there's a pretty well-established, this person is your manager, this person is your assistant manager, there's a district or a regional, there's a franchise owner or whatever. Well, yeah, but why would you? Because what if any of those people came into the store? How would I know who they are? Simple, rational information fact-finding. Being met with this, well, why would you need to just come to work and collect your paycheck? It doesn't matter. And at that point, I was like, do you understand how abnormal that is? Well, no, I don't. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. Like literally the same thing. And what gets me about this is that every time I deal with somebody that's like this, they think they are the only one that does this. Like this is an original idea. And it's like, you are textbook in your pathological, unself-aware ways. Textbook. You could write a book on how people act a certain way, and you will find this exact set of actions, this exact expression, this exact tone of voice every single time. So I was like, it concerns me that I can't get a straight answer from the boss as to anything, literally anything. Well, you know, she's not from America. Okay, that's fine, but we are in America. There are certain labor laws that must be followed. You know, are we going to get tax documentation or not? I don't know. Well, I mean, this is the first year that she's had it, so I'm going to have to go through with her on doing that. And it's like, well, if she's had the place for a year, shouldn't she have already done taxes for last year come April? Like, because that was the next thing I said was like, if you're in a situation where your employer is obfuscating or deflecting any and all questions as to the ownership of the business or who's actually in charge, that's an indication that something like tax fraud is going on, not that a normal business is being run. Well, she's not from here, that's just how she does it. Yeah, okay, but that's not good business. It's not good management. Well, this is her first time. Okay, so you got somebody who somehow has managed to apparently purchase a business, is running the business as the boss, the manager or whatever, but claims that somebody else owns it. And won't, basically I was told to not ask questions as far as who's running the show or anything, any questions I have whatsoever. I was just basically told don't ask questions. Now, a straight-laced, legitimate business would not operate in this way. That's just a fact. So what other conclusion can I draw than either there is something shady going on that I'm being told to stay away from, or there's just some bullshit funny games, and not funny haha, funny games being played. And I had said at the outset, do not play games with me. So this long-term employee has been informing me for weeks now that they're going to get rid of the lady that tried to stir trouble up a couple weeks ago so that I can have more hours. And please just stick around, and we're going to shift some things around. And when I go to days and she goes to mids, and you'll get the nights. And yeah, like I'm supposed to find out in a couple weeks, a month ago, if I'm going to be manager or not. I haven't even got an answer on that. And every time I ask, it's just a deadpan like, lady from a foreign country pretends not to understand, but when she wants to talk to me about something, she speaks perfectly good English and understands every word that I say. So that's where you get into the projection aspect of it. This is somebody who has their own faults, issues, or inabilities, and they are assuming that everyone around them is the same way. And I'm sorry, that ain't the case. I am self-aware. I have a photographic memory. I remember everything. I might blip a few things due to stress or anxiety here and there, and usually they get corrected pretty quick too, within my own memory. But one of the things you find out with people ranging in the spectrum from narcissism to sociopathy is a terrible short-term memory. Their ability to hang on to information and remember things, unless it specifically relates to a psychological advantage they're trying to give themselves, they won't remember anything. So my request for hours, the reason that I need the job, any of this, went right out the window. Nobody seems to remember any conversations that we've had. And when I said that I was getting red flags on some wackadoo bullshit at this job, well, what do you mean wackadoo bullshit? I said, I mean exactly what it sounds like. Well, what's a red flag? Come on now. Who doesn't know what a red flag is? It represents a warning. It represents some sort of a technical foul. And when you have red flags in your mind, it is because something is saying, hey, pay attention, wait a minute, something's not right here. And the only person that would claim to not know what such a thing is a person whose actions constitute red flag worthy actions. So after coming in, when I thought I was scheduled, being told I was not on schedule, and that I would be informed via text at some point the next day, which almost 4 o'clock, I still haven't got word of anything. Of course, then I had that conversation with the coworker who said she was going to talk to the boss about my schedule. And now I've just heard nothing. My guess is that even though I'm already planning to drop off my work shirt and my building key on Friday when I get my paycheck and tell them not to worry about paying me for the one day I've worked this week, and speaking of that, we'll get there in a second. My guess is that that would already be the request made once I get there. I was told I would get 15 hours initially, was then told by this coworker that the goal was to put me at least 25, and I said, that's cool, I'll take more than that. I've got bills to pay, I need to save up money, I have concerns of my own. This long-term employee says that her significant other had gotten a really good paying job, and she's going to be cutting her hours back, and then simultaneously she's going to be cutting her hours back, but she's going to be going to mornings, which is an increase in hours. And I don't know if they're actually getting rid of this other employee. That was never my goal. So I did a little bit of looking on narcissism in the workplace and the different types of situations that can come about. And basically what I'm seeing is the lady that tried to start something initially that they said they're getting rid of is the codependent. She has this part-time job at this gas station just a couple blocks from where she lives. She doesn't want to have to drive to town. She's got to be able to be home and available to babysit a young family member that she gets to watch from time to time. That would be the at-work codependent. Part of the time, it seems like the scapegoat is the boss. Certainly with the customers, they all blame everything on the boss. This long-termer seems to be the manipulator, but the boss is either in the position of actually being a flying monkey or of being the manipulator and allowing this other one to think they're the manipulator, which puts me in the position of being the next scapegoat on deck. The boss denies talking to this other coworker about just about everything, but this coworker knows all the things that only the boss should know, which means that that was also a lie. So on the 25 hours a week thing, what that's actually amounting to is every other week I've been getting about 10 hours, and then the next week I'll get 40-ish, which comes to a total of 50 per pay period, which equates to about 25 hours. As I said last night in the conversation, this can't get a straight answer, screwing with my hours. This is literally the job that I left and went unemployed because I just don't feel like dealing with it and can't find work in any reasonable fashion. Maybe now that my Facebook is deleted and people are kind of chilling out on this hysteria about the pandemic, that maybe I might be able to find something. Also, I've got my truck working better, which means that there's other opportunities. But this is also the psychologically abusive marriage that I'm still waiting on the dissolution of. This is the in-laws that I used to have to deal with, the pressure and unreasonable expectations. I was told by this coworker yesterday that the boss just likes it when people just know when they're supposed to come in, and I'm like, that's cool, but I'm not a mind reader. How am I supposed to know when I'm supposed to come in if nobody's telling me when I'm supposed to come in? And that was the point at which I was like, seriously, that's the marriage I just got out of, that's the in-laws, that's the job that I left. All of that is exactly the same. And I already said, and I had to reiterate, 1,000%, playing games with me is the last thing you want to do. And it seems like it's being taken as a dare. I never understand that. Oh yeah, really? Well, watch. Well, here's the thing. If they've already gotten rid of the other employee and I walk out the door, they're back to 2 of them covering 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. And to boot, come to find out through this coworker that she had been getting paid less than what I was offered to start, and when she found out for me what I was getting paid, she insisted and threatened to quit herself if she didn't get a raise to the same. So everybody's playing games. This is not a healthy work environment. I love the customers. The people in the town are great. Everybody seems to like me. But I cannot deal with this. I had an anxiety attack at work yesterday, thinking about all of this. That's not healthy. I shouldn't be having that at work. I'm not in a particularly vulnerable spot emotionally or mood-wise. Psychologically, I've been doing extremely well. So for me to have an anxiety attack out of nowhere is part of that red flag apparatus. Like I said, they all think they're original. They all think they are the only one that does this because they are not self-aware. Because this is pathological behavior, simply whatever the cause behind it, whatever the underlying damage or malfunction, this automatic, bordering on robotic behavior. It's not something I haven't seen before. I've seen it quite a bit, actually. And part of the trick with the gaslighting is to make me question myself. Well, is it unreasonable to want to know who owns the company? Is it unreasonable to want to know what the structure of the business is as far as tiers of management, people that might come in? At any time somebody comes and says they want to talk to the boss about something, and I happen to know that they work with another part of the company, I don't know who this is coming in, and I'll do my best to be nice and everything else, and it's not like I'm afraid of getting caught doing something wrong because I'm not doing anything wrong. But if I'm being judged by somebody as far as the quality of my work or whether or not there's a promotion possible, or so I had thought at the time, like I said, I've come to identify too many little lies, and this is another thing that comes up on the big end, unnecessary lies. Lies that didn't even need to be told. If there's an issue with the diesel pump, maybe it's a filter, maybe there's an issue with the line, maybe the tank's empty, who knows? What I was met with in even bringing this up as a concern that customers were being lied to was a defense that, do you know how much gas pumps cost? Those things are expensive. You expect her to just replace it? That's not even relevant. That's a deflection away from the actual question about the fact that customers are being lied to. Well, you shouldn't base any of this on customers, and don't worry about it. No matter what they say, they're going to keep coming back. Well, right there is an accidental admission that abusive codependent relationship is acknowledged on the part of this long-timer. Now, I understand the nature of business. I understand a single convenience store in a small town is going to be that way. However, if, say, the city council, the code enforcement, local law enforcement thought that there was something wrong, that place could get shut down. And yes, it would inconvenience a bunch of people, but a lot of people get fed up with it and they go to the next town 8 miles over anyway because it's either on their way to work or on their way home from work. And the thing is, I've worked for small mom and pop businesses where the owners are the managers. And all you do is say, so does somebody else own this or you're the owner? Nope, I'm the owner. Okie doke, cool. So you're also the manager? Yep, all right. Here's your paycheck with a check stub because they pay an accountant to do it. So like I said, there's all kinds of murk and confusion when it comes to status of employment. Is this a contractor situation avoiding workers' rights? Is this an employee situation but they're not filing anything correctly? I never filled out an application. I never filled out the is it I-5 or I-9 or whatever it is, the W-4 tax forms. I've never filled any of this out. So as far as I know, I'm a contractor because I have no tax documentation. I'll probably get a 1099 at the end of the year. And between that, catching all of these little lies, because that's just what I'm good at. The fact that my own experiences have put me in a position to recognize when I'm being toyed with or when somebody is playing funny mind games. It's really unfortunate. Thankfully, though, I was able to, assuming my paycheck doesn't get screwed with this week, I will be able to complete the repairs on my truck to make it fully drivable. This opens me up to a much broader set of possibilities for employment, including places I've already spoken to that sound like they would be happy to have me. But the issue being that my truck wouldn't run right. So if that's running right, this check coming up would actually be the money I could use to get myself in a position to make a fair bit more money and then hopefully catch myself up even better. One thing I can't do is keep doing this every other week, short hours, long hours business that makes me feel like I'm gaining, but I'm actually staying right in place, because I've still got property tax coming up. I've still got bills to pay. I've still got to be able to buy food for me and the cats, and I've got to be able to make any kind of headway whatsoever. Last part of the conversation yesterday entailed kind of this like, well, you shouldn't expect the boss to change. And I'm like, I'm not expecting the boss to change. I'm ascertaining whether there is some hinky bullshit going on here. And, well, I don't know. Why do you expect? Do you think you need to get so many hours? Oh, what's that thing that I always complain about? Why do you think you deserve to make money? I didn't say I deserve to make money. I just said I would like a regular set schedule so that I'm not hanging on every single week. And when we know that the schedule is supposed to be out on Sunday, but we're finding out Wednesday or Thursday what days on the weekend we work, which means 2 days a week. And I know there's other hours to be had, but apparently the boss slash owner slash manager slash whatever, can't again get a straight answer, apparently receives a salaried check every week, but works extra hours to try and cut down on how much she has to pay others. And yet, none of this money that is being saved in this manner seems to be going toward the infrastructure of the store, which again is terrible business. This is how you run a business into the ground. And like I said, I've had employers who were mom and pop. I became quite close with them. Didn't inquire about the gross sales numbers or anything like that, because that's not your business. But, you know, are you going to get this fixed? Is this an issue? And they say, well, we can't afford it. Oh, okay, you know, well, what can we do to get it done on a cheaper way or whatever? You know, loyalty to a small business, that's something I'm down for. But loyalty requires respect. So, yeah, it's where it is. Gonna make a call tomorrow, see about when it might be possible for me to start a different job. Friday, be able to cash a paycheck, pay the water bill, get the things I need to get my truck running properly, which then, of course, opens up for other things. Possibly have to go obtain some documentation, make sure that I've got insurance on it for a new job. It's really sad, but I mean, you can't change people. This is the thing that I was just told yesterday. You can't change people. And it's like, yeah, no, I get it. I can't. But what I can do is change my situation. I can remove myself from a bad situation. And that seems to be what's going to happen here. So I put a lot of thought into it. I've lost a bit of sleep over it. And when you realize that you're having anxiety attacks at work and losing sleep over an issue like this, then the answer is obvious. It's time to make a change. So that's what I think I'm going to have to do. No idea when this is going to be finished uploading, but everybody else have a good Wednesday or whatever day it is when this is finally done. Peace out.